Perfect. All right, come on in, and you want to find a table. Here, I'll get you a mat and a board there. I never know how many we're going to have. We call this the working lunch. You guys are between sessions, right?
Right.
You bring your lunch in, and we do a little bit of talking. I do a little bit of talking.
No, you just got here earlier.
Okay. Oh yeah. Grab those socks. That's perfect.
Should we move over there? Should they move over here?
As long as we have north-south at each table, that's all we really need.
Do you mind that it's sideways like that? I think if you turn it 90 degrees, it should be right side. I don't know what people are going to see.
I need them to see this
Right, but
and this.
isn't it side? They're going to see it sideways. I think if you turn it up, I think.
This way
Well,
or this way?
let's see.
See, I can't.
Well, it's
Oh, maybe.
It's better.
they
Or we
gotta
just
be
have
able-
to angle it, like we put something under there. Yeah, anything.
Making the people on
Right.
YouTube sick with the thing going around.
Let's just try to put something.
Something
I
like
think it's.
this.
I think that's
It'll
more
angle
like
up,
what you want.
maybe.
I think that's better. At
Okay.
least you can see the table.
Okay.
You
They can see the north and the south. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. And feel free to eat your lunch. I know this is a working lunch lesson. My name is Donna Compton. We do have handouts, but we don't have handouts. So I will make arrangements to make sure you get the handout for today's course, but you don't need it because we're going to use the cards, and that's why everyone sorted the cards into suits. So everyone grab a suit. If you're three-handed at your table, then somebody grab two suits, preferably like spades and diamonds or hearts and clubs, because then you have a chance to rethink before you grab the next suit. What do we talk? Oh, did I say yes? Would you mind popping into the empty chairs? Maybe there's an empty chair here and one over there. Otherwise, and one here. We've got lots of empty chairs. I can set you up here, but you'll be doing a lot of work two-handed.
She said sorted into suits.
There we go. Sort them into suits.
No, she said each person can take one suit. Each person takes one suit, right?
Each person takes one suit. So sort them into suits there. There's an empty chair here and there's one over there. You don't have to sit with your partner. We're going to be talking declare play today. So you can sit with anybody if you want to meet a new friend. If you're tired of staring at your partner from the morning at session, you can go to another table. It's all good. We don't say anything. We were just in Vegas for 12 days at the Nationals, so I sort of have that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. We'll just move it on to Palm Springs or wherever we are. Oh, do I have some handouts? That's okay. I was introducing myself.
Sorry,
But
people have been stalking you, so I'm so sorry.
I know. Oh, this is the fabulous. You guys are so lucky in this district to have Lamia as your tournament coordinator. Yay! She does amazing work.
Thank you.
And she lets me come in and talk to you guys, which is my favorite part of the day.
One spot over here. And this is the amazing Dollar Concert.
There you go. No, you can't tell we love each other. There's a seat here. You don't have to sit together. There's a seat over there. Anywhere, yeah. This is fine.
We went to the cafe.
Okay.
You're live on YouTube.
All right, so my name is Donna Compton, as Lamnia told you. I'm out of Omaha, Nebraska. Been there for a couple of years. We lived in Texas for a very long time and went north because it was a little hot in Texas. So now it's a little cold in Nebraska. But we followed our oldest daughter, and now we have a 9-month-old grandson. So the plan worked, and we moved ahead of them even getting married. I said, okay, wherever they're going, I'm going. I just got there first, but then they came along, and then the grandbaby, you know. So best laid plans, right? So yeah, I'm on the circuit with my husband, Chris Compton. Some of you may have played against him or run into him, or sometimes he subs for my lectures. He just crossed the 55,000 master point mark. I know, and you wonder, what do I do with all those master points? I can't spend them. Neiman Marcus doesn't take that kind of points, but they're useful. They're useful for something. I haven't figured that out after 36 years of marriage, but one of these days I will. Our daughters do play. We have 2 daughters. They do play bridge. We have a lot of animals. They think they play bridge. They attend all of my lessons online. And that's about it for me. What we're talking about today, the title this afternoon is Who's the Master Hand? But it's more to it than just that. All of my lessons, I like to talk from the perspective of how do you think about this game? Not what are the rules, the exceptions, we get all of those. My checklists have checklists because that's how I live, right? But it's more important to do, okay, if you have these rules, how do you think about them? What order do you go in? And so today we're looking at playing in a trump contract. Okay, so I'm gonna narrow your world. That's another thing about bridges. We have so many ideas floating out there, we don't know which ones to grab to use when. Okay, so we're gonna narrow a world. We're looking at declaring in a trump contract at any level. This is gonna be our thought process. And we're going to use the NET acronym, and eventually you'll see it on a piece of paper when Lamnia comes back. But I'm going to continue talking about that. The N stands for number of losers you can afford. Now, of course, we love over tricks, right? But we are thinking, how do we just make this contract? And then we look a little bit deeper into making over tricks. So the N of NETT stands for number of losers that we have, number of losers we can afford. So let's give an example. Let's say you're in 4 heart contract. You can afford 3 losers. Okay, simple, but what it does is it gets your mind focused. Okay, it's not that none of us know that, you can afford 3 losers in a 4 heart contract. It's what do you want to trigger your mind to start through the checklist? Okay, so we can afford 3 losers. Then the E in NETT stands for number of losers to eliminate. Now to answer that, you have to find your master hand. And that's what this afternoon is about, is identifying your master hand. Now we will I'll have one hand that will work all the way through the nets today so we can see what the TTs stand for. But we're gonna hold still on this E for a while and talk about, well, is it your declaring hand or is it the dummy? Sometimes it's the declaring hand, sometimes it's the dummy. And yes, I have a checklist for you to identify that master hand, to start counting your losers. And here's the biggest secret about playing in a trump contract, is you identify one hand, that's what we're calling the master hand, and then you use the other hand as your cover card hand. In no trump, you're counting your winners in both hands. You're going back and forth and counting all your winners. In a suit contract, you only have to count one hand, which is this good news because there's only 13 losers in one hand. If you try to count all your losers in both hands, you got 26 losers, right? So you identify one hand, and throughout the hand, your whole plan is based on the losers in that one hand, and that's what we're calling the master hand. All right, so let's take the diamond suit. Whoever has diamonds, this is where you come in to play here. And let's give North the king, the queen, and 3 little diamonds. 3 little ones.
That's me.
3 little ones. King, queen, and 3 little. What do I mean by little is 2 through 9s. 2 through 9s, not honors. Okay. All right, and lay it out dummy style. So everybody can see it. It looks like a trump suit. And in South's hand, we want 3 little diamonds.
2 diamonds.
3 little diamonds to South.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Yes, it's a minor. We don't usually play in a minor, but we're playing in a minor for this example. This is your trump suit. And as far as the checklist is concerned, if you have an unevenly divided suit, as we do here, you identify the long trump hand as your master hand. It could be in the dummy. It could be in your hand. It doesn't matter where it is. It just becomes the master hand. So in this case, north, without any other cards, just the trump suit, that's how you identify the master hand, is going to be north. Right? So long trump hand. That one's easy. It's the rest of our discussion that gets a little crazy. All right, let's say that the trump suit is evenly divided. All right, so grab those diamonds up, and let's use the club suit. So grab your diamonds back, and club person, you're on deck here.
Give it back to the diamond.
Give it back to the diamond person.
Oh, diamond. Give back. Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody gets to keep their own suit. It's yours for the afternoon. Okay. All right, so north, whoever has clubs, I'll get all of you guys working eventually. We're just working up to the whole hand. Whoever has clubs, let's give north 4 little clubs.
North has the clubs.
But you need to show 4 little clubs to for your table mates.
Oh, okay.
Lay them face up to north.
It's pretty low.
Okay, and then south in clubs needs the big ace. I say big ace and little 8. So big ace, king, jack, 10. Ace, king, jack, 10. Big ace, king, jack, 10. Okay, so if you find yourself in a trump contract where your suit is evenly divided, we then call the master hand from the stronger trump hand. Now this one is clear, right? South's trump are much better than North's trump. So again, it doesn't matter if South's hand was the declaring hand, the one you're holding, or North's hand was the declaring hand. It doesn't matter whether it's dummy or declare hand. What matters is the strength of the suit, and I'm going to tell you the theory behind it to help us remember. All right? So if you were playing in clubs, this is your trump suit, and you were wanting to trump some losers, either in the north hand or the south hand. Would you rather be trumping losers with your 2, 3, 4, 5 of clubs,
Yes.
or trumping losers with your ace, king, jack, 10 of clubs? You'd rather eliminate losers from your master hand with your small trump, trumping them with your small trump, and using your big trump to pull the opponent's trump eventually, right? So if you have an evenly divided suit where you have one side is much stronger in the trump suit, not the stronger hand, the stronger trump suit, then you call that as your master hand, and the other hand is going to be your cover card hand.
Independent of the whole rest of the hand.
Independent of the whole rest of the hand.
What
Okay.
does cover card mean?
Cover card means it's the other hand, the non-master hand.
Okay.
And the extra winners become cover cards for the master hand's losers.
Okay.
That's why we call it cover card. Okay. Grab the clubs up. So let's do a quick review, right? If your dummy comes up, opening lead, well, let's even back up. Pass, 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 auction over, and you're declare. And you get an opening lead, and your dummy comes face up. The first thing you want to do after you review the auction is to identify your master hand, okay? And you first identify the hand with the longer trump suit. That's your master hand. If they're equal, then look for the stronger of the 2 trump suit hands, right? And call the stronger one as the master hand and the other hand as the cover card hand. Now, what if they're equal strength? You have 2 honors in each, or you have 4 small opposite 4 small, right? Equal strength. There's no clear winner of which hand is stronger than the other, like in our club example. Then you look for the more distributional hand. All right, now everybody's going to be involved here. We're going to build a hand for south and build a hand for north. Let's start with the north hand, right? In the north hand, in spades, we want the big ace, queen, and 2 small. Big ace, queen, the lady queen, not the king, not the gentleman king. Ace, queen, and 2 small. To north. In hearts, we need a little heart in north's hand. In diamonds, we need 5 little diamonds in north's hand. And in clubs, we need 3 little clubs.
Oh my God, just 6 points?
Oh, no. No. Now, you can imagine that there's some honors in those other 3 suits. But what I want you focusing on is which hand is the master hand. The fact that your trump are going to be equally divided. We don't have South's hand yet, but we're about to. I don't want you counting high card points because that's what we do. As bridge players, we shuffle when they say don't shuffle, and we count high card points when we say don't count high card points. So I'm not giving you any high card points to count.
So
Right.
and we're avoiding clubs?
3 little clubs.
Ah, okay.
Okay, all right, so the focus is on the spade suit. The spades are gonna be trump, that's why you got some honors there. Okay, here's South's hand. In spades, we want the king, the jack, and 2 small. In hearts, 2 little hearts. This is all going to South. In diamonds, 3 little diamonds. And in clubs, 4 little clubs. If I don't give you any honor cards, you can't be counting them, right? That's a distraction. That's a red herring. When you're identifying your master hand, it's not about the strength of the hands. It's about the strength of the trump suit. So this example, I've given you equal length, because you got 4 spades in each hand. Spades are your trump. I've given you equal strength, because you got 2 honors in one hand and 2 honors in the other hand. Right? So we don't have a tiebreaker yet. The next checklist point, when you have this situation of equal length and equal strength, is you call the master hand as the more distributional hand, not the stronger hand or the weaker hand in your side suit. So in this case, North's shape is 4, 1, 5, 3 in rank order. You always want to recognize your hand shape in rank order. It will do wonders for your all-around game. It's amazing. And South's hand is 4, 2, 3, 4. So the more distributional hand is the North hand here. So you would identify North as your master hand, whether or not it's the declarer's hand or the dummy. I think we've established that at this point. And the South hand would be our cover card hand. Any extra winners we have in South's hand, we would use to cover the losers in North's hand. Now, we got one more checklist item. What if you have equal length in your trump suit, they're 4, 4, and you have equal strength, you have the same number of honors or strength in both hands, and let's see, in North's hand, take a little diamond away and add a little heart.
You want to leave your heart?
So that not only do you have equal length and equal strength, but you have equal shape. Your shape is both 4, 4, 3, 2 in both hands, right? When you come to that, you can literally call either hand as the master hand. But I'm going to give you a little tip. What I do is I always call the hand, all else equal, I always call the hand that I'm holding my master hand. I don't know if it's because I've been playing tournament bridge since I was 8 years old and I can count my losers faster in my hand than I can in the dummy. I don't know what it is, but I can. It is just a faster eye-hand coordination. My losers are closer to my body that I'm holding. I don't know what the reason is. And for you, it's personal. But all I want you to do at this point is always call the same hand as your master hand. If you always wanted to be the dummy in this situation where you have equal length, equal strength, equal shape, always call it from the dummy, fine, but always consistently call it from the dummy. Or always consistently call it from your master, the hand you're holding, okay? Because what will happen if you don't, and your mind is gonna play games on you when you guys go back for your 3 o'clock session. Your mind, you're gonna identify your master hand, and the first thing your mind is gonna do is go over to the cover card hand and start counting losers. Promise you that's what's gonna happen to you. So you have to be strong with your mind, and you have to make it stay in the master hand you call it. So for consistency wise, when you get to equal, everything's equal, you make the decision, but always call it from the same hand so that your synapses are grooved and your mind doesn't start going back and forth. When I'm watching people play, I do all sorts of training, team trainings, pair of trainings, individual trainings. When I watch people play, I can see when their mind is playing games on them, when they are no longer counting their losers from the one hand. And it's hard. It's really hard to stay in one hand. Try it this afternoon. I'm saying it's hard. Okay, now we've identified the master hand. All right, we've got our checklist. Longer trump suit, master hand. Equal length, then the stronger hand. The stronger trump hand. Equal strength, then the more distributional hand. All else equal, call it from the hand you're holding. Okay, grab this hand up, and we're going to put a real live hand out now with high cards in all the suits, okay?
So we return the diamonds.
Return the diamonds. Everybody grab your suit back.
And your spades. Here you go. And your hearts. There you go.
Okay. And we're going to build hands for north and south, and then we'll actually build all 4 hands, but I only want to put into view the north and south hands initially. Eventually we'll look at all 4. But as we're giving them out, cover the east and west cards because again, it's a distraction. It's not part of our thought process, okay? All right, so let's start with north's hand and the spades. And in north's hand spades, we want the king, the queen, the jack, and the 4. And I'm gonna be specific with spot cards.
Thank you.
We have to. All right, king, queen, jack, 4. And this is going to north. All right, in hearts in north, the queen, little 8, 6.
One more time.
Queen, little 8, 6.
Thank you.
In diamonds, the 9 and the 5. And in clubs in North's hand, the big ace, queen, 7, 5. So North's shape is 4, 3, 2, 4 in rank order.
Don't count the points.
It's okay if you want to. It's so funny, for so long, because my coaches when I was young, well, my whole life, my coaches have focused on everything but the points in the hand, that I don't like to count high card points. So I always, when it matters in my classes, I go, okay, somebody tell me how many points this point hand. I mean, I know how to count the points, but I just don't like to because it's never been a focus of my bridge, is how many points some hand has, because there's a lot more to it. Okay, so now we have North's hand. Now let's build South's hand. In spades, South needs the big ace, the little 8, the 5, and the 2. Big ace, little 8, 5, 2. And in hearts, the big ace, Jack 10. And this is all going to South. In diamonds, South needs the little 8, 4, 3. And in clubs, South needs the King, Jack, 10. King, Jack, 10 of clubs to South. All right. Now, we're going to build East hand. And once you give East their cards, you can pass the rest of the cards to West. That's sort of how it works. Okay? But we don't want to see East hand. We don't want to see West hand. So you guys turn them face down once you get your cards. East hand in spades needs the 10 and the 6. In hearts, East needs the King, 7, 3. In diamonds, East needs the Queen, Jack, 7, 6. Queen, Jack, 7, 6. And in clubs, East needs the 9, 6, 3, 2. And all the rest can go to West at that point. All right. So East and West, you can tuck your hands away for now. And group discussion. I want you guys to take a look at the hand. Start with your checklist. We're going to do it together. We're going to work through it together. But let's find the master hand based on the checklist that we just did together. And nobody's in any hot seat because you're north-south. Don't think that you've got to, get the right hand. And you can talk. I might listen
Yeah,
in, but I
think
won't
so.
call on anybody.
But even then, you have more strength in your trump.
See this side.
But she's saying.
Three, three, three.
Suit is better than that suit.
This one.
Did you get that?
Yeah, because you're,
We don't even answer that.
Okay, so the contract is 4 spades. I should have told you that, but I think you probably figured that out. Simple auction. Your opponents weren't in the auction, so you don't have any clues there. You didn't have any past hand opponent. Okay, that's another lesson, another tournament. So we get to 4 spades, and South is declare. And the opening lead, West, if you'll pull out the ace of diamonds from your hand, just so we can have an opening lead here. And now we are, well, how many losers can we afford? 3. How many do we need to eliminate? Well, that requires finding the master hand. And we are looking at 4 spades and 4 spades, so equal length. Then we default to, well, is one side stronger than the other? I would say North's King, Queen, Jack is stronger than South's Ace, 8, something another, right? So we call the North hand as our master hand, even though South's declare. And when you're doing this, it's going to take you some time to stay in the dummy as the master hand. I'm just telling you now. It's going to be the hardest part of this thing that you're going to add to your game after today. So now we're going to count losers in the North hand and use South's cover cards, extra winners or cover cards, to cover the losers in North's hand. And you want to go very methodically, suit by suit by suit. Because there's lots of distractions going on, tournament directors making announcements, partner leaving the table to get some water, right? I mean, so you have to be very disciplined in your declare play to stay focused. All right, so let's take the spade suit.
no losers.
And, well, technically, it's a 2-step process, right? We're missing the ace 10 of spades. And yes, we can see the ace of spades in South's hand. But in the North hand, we've got 2 spade losers because we don't know how they're divided and who has the ace 10, right? So we have to look over to South's hand to see if South has any cover cards. And the ace of spades is a cover card. And it makes our King, Queen, Jack good. right? So we have no spade losers. I totally agreed with everyone that said no spade losers here. But for your thought process, go step 1, identify the losers in your master hand. What that does for you is get your mind focused on the right hand, the hand you're supposed to be eliminating those losers in. Then look over to the cover card hand only if you have losers. If you don't have losers in a particular suit, you don't even have to glance over to dummy. Okay, all right, so no losers in the spades. In the heart suit, just in the north hand, we call 3 losers here. I know South's got some cover cards, but we're doing it step by step. So we've got 3 losers. Then we look over to South's hand, and we see the ace, the jack, and the 10. And we say, okay, well, we're missing the king. And if you ever say to yourself, when you're counting your losers, if you ever say it depends, you count it as a loser at trick 1. Okay, so it depends on who has the king of hearts, whether we have a loser or not. So if it depends, it's a loser. Now what I want you to also do when you have a working suit like the heart suit, because you've got to work on it, you've got a loser, you've got to take a finesse. Technically this is a repeat finesse, right? And you identify the technique that you're going to use on that suit. Now, we're going to use repeat finesse in this, which means we've got to have an entry to North's hand to do that repeat finesse, okay? By identifying the technique, whether it's long suit development or finesse or in play or squeeze or any of those other promotion, right? You always want to identify it because then that takes your mind down the road of, oh, do I need transportation? Is transportation an issue on this hand? Because I can tell you that most hands go down that shouldn't go down because the transportation gets mixed up. Have you ever noticed your partner, never you, of course, your partner like is playing a hand and you can see a winner and dummy, but they can't get to it anymore? That's what I mean by transportation, okay? Transportation is huge. Okay, so we have no losers in spades. We have 1 loser in hearts, potential, although it's still a loser. Diamonds. In the north hand, we have 2 diamond losers. So we look over to South's cover card hand, and South can't do anything for our 2 diamond losers, so we mark them up as losers. And then in the clubs, I would call this a two loser hand, maybe even 3 club losers in the North's hand because, you know, if East has all the clubs, then we've got a lot of losers, right? But then we look to South's hand, and South has the King, Jack, 10. And those cover cards fill in our Ace, Queen of clubs. So we don't have any losers in the club suit. Now, to start at the top, the net checklist. You ask yourself, how many losers can I afford? 3. How many losers do I need to eliminate? That's the E. Well, that requires us to find the master hand, and that's what today's class was about, is to get our checklist on identifying the master hand. We identified North as the master hand because it was the stronger trump suit. We didn't get to the point of which was the more distributional hand. We didn't make it that far down the list. The stronger. So North was our master hand. We counted 1 potential heart loser and 2 fast diamond losers. So life is looking good, right? We're going to play for an over trick. If our finesse works, we're going to make 5, right? And there's nothing there are no losers we need to eliminate through trumping. That would be an exception to pulling trump here. So we're going to give them their 2 diamonds. I don't know, well, they can't really mess the defense up on. Well, they can. I see my opponents mess the defense up on hands. I go, how in the world did you do that one? So we're going to lose our 2 diamonds, and they'll probably play a 3rd diamond, and we'll trump in the north hand. And then we're going to pull trump, making sure that we end in the north's hand. Now, that club suit, right, our technique is going to be repeat finesse. That's the first T. Second T, and always get all the way through your second T, right? That's the transportation.
What was the first T?
First T is the technique. What technique? We're going to use repeat finesse on the heart suit. And then transportation here, take a look at that club suit. What do you see in the club suit? What do you guys see?
2 entries to north.
Yeah, we see winners, but when I see that club suit, I go, oh, I want to marry that club suit. Because this club suit, I can go from north to south, and I can go from south to north. So I take care of my transportation suits, right? First thing a lot of us like to do is cash off winners. And when we do that, our transportation goes poof. And we no longer have an entry to take our repeat finesse, right? Now, on this hand, we've got several ways of getting over there, right? So it's not an issue on this hand, but on a lot of hands you play, and especially when partner plays them, that it becomes an issue as far as the net control. So once you get through the net, the NETT, which is I've got it out on your handouts are here now. You'll have it in writing. Always ask yourself, and this is the final question, before you play, this is all before you play to trick one. If you ever have watched high-level players, they sit there for a long time before they play to trick one. And you're thinking, why aren't they just playing low? They got 2 diamond losers. What are they doing? This is the thought process they're going through, okay? The final question is, and this is where top-level experts spend probably more time than the rest of us, is to ask what could go wrong. What if the trump are 4-1? Does that matter in what's happening in how I'm playing the hand? What if the clubs or the hearts are, 6-1 or whatever, the division is? And then they go up and say, okay, is that going to modify my plan that I've got in place right now? Now, it'll take a while for us to get down to the question of what could go wrong, right? What I want you guys to focus on when you go back out to the 3 o'clock session is you're in a trump contract, you've got your opening lead, you're asking yourself, how many losers can I afford? And then identify the master hand. It's gonna take some time to keep going through the checklist, but if you focus on identifying the master hand and trying like all hell to stay in that master hand when you're counting your losers, that will be a successful day at the tables this afternoon, no matter what your result is. Well, maybe not, but anyway, I like to think that is true. Any questions on this or anything else that has to do with bridge or, I don't know, I'm an attorney too. I could probably swing a few legal questions too.
I think I know the answer, but I just want to ask the question. 5 small trump in one hand, 3 ace, king, queen in the other. Is the 5
The long trump hand. It's not the strength of the suit. It's the length of the suit that determines which is your master hand. So the question on the floor was, what if you had 5 little in one hand and ace, king, queen in the other? Doesn't matter the strength. It's about the length. You would call the 5 little as your master hand. Yeah.
Okay, you're playing this hand, and all 5 trump is in one hand. How do you play it?
Well, I set my hearts up. Well, I have to find out all 5, so I cash 1 round of spades, and then I take my heart finesse. Anytime you get a super bad break, you've got to set your side suits up, and then pull your trump, and then, I mean, not pull your trump to the point that you have no more, because then they trump in and run diamonds, right? You have to give the 5 spades hand a rough by running your clubs or running your hearts. But anytime I get a bad break, I look for my working suit and I work on it and I take that loss early so that I have winners to force at the hand that has all my trump. Yeah. Okay, well, you guys can find me. Let me give you the handouts here. I've got some flyers in the back. We take a group of about 100 of our closest friends every year to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and every year to Kansas City, Missouri. And I don't have enough handouts, but that's okay. We'll work with it. Okay, let's see what we have. I do a free morning lesson on Zoom. You can find me at Play Better Bridge, and all these websites are here. anyone share one? Is
Yeah.
anyone with a partner that can share?
I'll share with my wife.
Oh, okay. So I've got some that don't have enough. Can you share one? Okay. You don't need one? Okay. You guys need one? No, okay. No needing to share now. Okay. Everyone got one. Everyone got one that wanted one. And we do have a very friendly Choose Bridge Kindness game online. When you guys are back home and your club doesn't have a game that day, you're welcome to. Oh, she brought some more. Join us at 1:15 Central. We've got some gold points next week online. So I do, if you don't want to share anymore, I've got some extra copies. We did a sharing program here. So come find me for our breakfast club. We've got some breakfast club peeps here. And we'd love for you to join us. There you go. Oh, I know. You're welcome, you're welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And hopefully this worked this time. Okay.